All right, Chris, good morning.
Hey.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in and talking to us today. We really appreciate it when patients can come in and do this with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I want to first congratulate you on the birth of your daughter.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And I want to start off with some questions, just do a couple of questions. And first is tell us a little bit about why you decided to do the orthodontic treatment that you're doing. And if you will, tell us a little bit about sort of what's changed between before you did it and what you've noticed now.
First of all, it's my pleasure. Love you guys. And yeah, so what started this, what kind of led me down the path of doing this treatment, in my late 30s, and now I'm 40, was that I woke up one morning in January of 2020 and my jaw was locked. I just couldn't move it. And that was very alarming because that had never happened before. It's a thing that I'd heard about, but it was very kind of viscerally not something that I liked.
It's a very unnerving thing.
It was super unnerving. And so anyway, I called the office and he said, "Yeah, okay, well, come on in. We can help out." And you guys assessed it, and kind of through that assessment, we kind of started, discussing some of the other issues that can happen and what might lead to a locked jaw. Some of the development issues, kind of in your face and kind of undergrowth, and as we were talking about that, there were other things that came up that I'd never mentioned to you guys about posture. There were some postural things, and I've been like Quasimodo my whole life. I always had a very forward head posture, which I hadn't really thought about. I knew that because my mom and grandmother were always telling me to stand up straighter, and I was like, all right.
Right.
But I couldn't do it. And another thing that came up was that people can have problems with dysphonia, which is a condition where you kind of lose your voice. Sure. Basically, you kind of recruit muscles in your neck to make vocal sounds that aren't actually designed for that. And that was something, I hadn't mentioned it to anybody here, but that's something I'd struggled with. I'd gone to Vanderbilt for that because I'm a musician and I sing a bit.
It's not something you would typically mention to your dentist.
Not usually, but it kind of came up, and this picture started to emerge in my mind that there was this whole constellation of symptoms that were just spawned by the fact that my jaw had locked, that you guys were telling me about, that I'd never told you about, that I had suffered from.
Yeah, so some of those things that were associated with the locked jaw were really resonating with you from your experience in the past.
Absolutely. And so, after kind of consulting with you guys a bunch, it became clear that I probably had an underlying issue that we could work on, that could potentially help a lot of these issues, help postural stuff, help the dysphonia stuff, keep my jaw from locking, and there are probably other benefits as well that you could speak to, but those are kind of the main things that I was concerned about. And it felt to me like an investment in my own health, like a long-term investment in my health. Just even my back, just not having I still have, my posture is not as good as I would like for it to be, but it's much better than it was.
Great.
They're just little things like that it seemed like this is an investment kind of for the next, 40, 50 years.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the myofunctional therapy along with the orthodontics has affected your voice and sort of and any perception on your any changes in your perception of your ability to breathe through your nose comfortably?
Yeah. There've been kind of profound impacts on both of those things. And actually, I would add not just breathing through my nose, which I know is like an important component of this, but being able to kind of have an upright air column. Because it used to be that if I would try and have my head back in kind of a good posture, I couldn't really breathe like that.
Right.
And now, after having having gone through, we're not done with the process, but I think we've gotten a lot of the kind of large shifts have happened.
The big changes have happened.
Yeah, and I can kind of put my head down. I can kind of, if I'm sitting forward, I can kind of have, an unobstructed airway, which I kind of didn't have before.
Yeah.
Which then I think led to a lot of the bad postural stuff from when I was a little kid. So yeah, the myo has been really great. In terms of strengthening my lip seal, my tongue, kind of having a better tongue placement all the time, and again, the thing that I feel like I really notice as a singer is it feels again to me like there's an air column because I can be a little bit more upright. I don't have to feel like I need to be forward so much to get air to actually move through. It's affected my ability to kind of create a clear, powerful sound where I don't have to strain.
That's great.
So for me as a singer, and I've never been, for the most part, I'm not like someone who sings lead. I play in bands and sing a lot of harmony, but singing kind of more in the foreground was not something I could ever work on because I would kind of lose my voice really quickly because of some of this dysphonia stuff. And since we went through the AGGA process, now I have braces now, but that's just kind of straightening things back out. But
right.
Once we were able to kind of move things forward a little bit, I can kind of sing for longer now. I have a lot more stamina.
Good.
And so that has actually been pretty huge for me. And yeah, it's something that I'm really excited to kind of work on moving forward. It's a funny thing, being in your, adult life and consenting to have braces and go through something like this. It was not something that I was actually very thrilled about in a way, because I did that when I was 14.
Sure.
But I have to say, I'm really actually just so grateful that I kind of started on this, because I really do feel like it's had some meaningfully good impacts on my physical health and my ability to do my job. Now, I have a unique job where I have to, I'm a musician, but it actually has been extraordinarily worthwhile, both from a time perspective. Well, and it's funny because I come in, I see you guys like all the time. Like, you guys are like my buddies now, and but it's just been really good. I'm kind of, I feel like I took a chance. It was like a little bit of a gamble for me. It's not something I really knew much about. And we're not done, but I feel really good about having made the decision to kind of go through this process, which is like a, multi-year commitment.
Yeah, it is an investment of time, for sure.
It's an investment of time, but for me, it's been a really good investment of time, and I kind of look forward to, just seeing it through.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Chris, we're really happy that this has been as impactful for you as it has been, and that's our hope for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming and talking to us today and sharing your experience. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.